So, you know, now, you know, everything's in play now, you know. I mean, we're going to the doctors, we're getting all this stuff done and everything, you know. And so, you know, that's, you know, I don't look at it as, you know, if we have a disagreement on something, you know, it's not in the back of my mind to say, well, if I don't agree with her, she's not going to give me her kidney. I don't fucking work that way. You know what I mean? She's going to give me that kidney because she knows I need it. Plain and simple. You know? We have our arguments. We have our ups and downs. You know? I've never called her a cunt. She's never called me a prick. You know? We have our boundaries. You know, and well, we do.
That's low barring the boundaries.
No. Listen, I've never called her that. You know what I mean? Even though
that's like saying I take care of my kids, like Chris Rock says.
Right, but no,
you're not supposed to do that shit.
Rather than sit there and argue with each other, you know, if we have a disagreement on anything, you know, we'll. I feel like we're in a ring. You know what I mean? And we just without even being said, it's like, you know what, we're not going to do this right now, and we go off to our separate corners. You know, and we stay out of each other's way, you know, and then when the time is right, one of us will go to the other and say, hey, you know what, you know, let's talk about, you know what I mean, and we'll get through it. Now, that might sound like a line of bullshit, and it sounds like that's not even a probable, but you have to know there's such a thing as knowing how to argue with somebody. You know what I mean? There's such a thing as having disagreements in a relationship. You know, everything isn't fucking picture fucking perfect. You know what I mean? It really isn't. Once in a while, you get to that point where you're like, you know what? This is the pinnacle of my life, and this is where I feel I belong, and this is who I want to spend my life with, and that's how I feel. You know what I mean? I take it back to love is not fucking easy, man. It's not a fucking easy game. This isn't. You know what I mean? And for me, it's even more intense because I have a very strong personality. I don't know if you fuckers can see that when I'm talking on air or not, but I have a very, very strong personality. I'm very, very loud. I'm very, very opinionated, you know, and that's my style. That's my scene. That's what I do, you know. And so there's a lot of times when I'm, you know, and I'm talking to her, you know, and she'll like try to cut in, and I'll be like, no, wait a minute. Let me finish first, you know. And it's very hard for me to sit and have someone tell me what I'm doing wrong in a relationship. You know what I mean? But the only way we're going to learn is to be told of our mistakes, you know, and grow from that, you know? And that's why I said, me and you come from two totally different worlds right now. Like, when was your last relationship? Your last serious relationship? You know what I mean?
Probably about 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
So you've had 5 years to and again, before I met her, I'll admit it, I was a fucking whore. I really was. I was fucking drug addled. I was suicidal. I was fucking, you know, I was into the fucking dope scene, you know, and when I met her, you know, she just, after a while, she just kind of said, hey, listen, I think it should just be me and you know? And I was like, you know? And it didn't take very long for me to go, you know what? This is something that I'm willing to, the whole adventure, you know? Why not, you know? And it sounds exciting at the time, you know, to be out there fucking, you know, 4 different chicks a week or doing all this shit and you're fucking this and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? That shit gets old, man. Sex isn't everything. It's nice and it's cool to have, you know what I mean? But it isn't everything, man. You know what I mean? To have a strong bond with somebody and a unconditional, ooh, that's a big fucking word. Can I spell that? To have an unconditional love for somebody, you know, it's a beautiful thing. And again, she doesn't just look at me, you know, she looks at the whole picture. You know what I mean? She looks at my son as her son. You know what I mean? I look at her daughter as my daughter. You know what I mean? It's something that it's unbreakable. And even though at times, you know, we can't.
It's all fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. Even though at times we can't stand each other. At the end of the day,
I'm gonna stick with what I got.
Yeah, at the end of the, you know what? At the end of the day, I love her to death, and
if it wasn't for the fact that I could get sober and realize I've got a lot of personality defects.
Oh yeah,
and that term
defects.
Was something I was unfamiliar with.
Right.
We all have problems. We're all human.
Right.
Nobody's perfect. Everybody fucking says that shit.
Right.
But personality defects? What the fuck is that? Wait a minute. Give me the list and let me go through it.
Right.
I'll check
off what I think I have.
And if it wasn't for the program, you won't see literature that's written like that.
Right.
You know, you can actually find the books where you can look at your character and go, okay, these are pros, these are cons. It's really hard to look at the cons and recognize, do I have that? Or on any given situation, might I slip into that mode? Right. Or does this error in thinking correspond with my daily routine? It's hard to factor that into your mindset.
Right.
Can I accept that I get jealous? Can I accept that when an alpha male is around me, I have to default to a lesser man and keep my opinion to myself because I'm afraid I might get judged in front of other people?
Right.
Or can I just
be me?
Be me.
I want to be me.
But if it wasn't for the fact that I got sober and I was able to finally get out on my own,
right,
live by myself,
right,
and get some time alone,
right,
that I'm able to finally go, okay, well, these are the things that I like. These are the things about me that I cherish. These are the things that make me uncomfortable on a normal given situation when I'm out and about dealing with people.
Right.
These things bother me. Where does that come from? You know? And look at that. You know, without having to get involved with someone else and focus on the relationship, I can focus on me. Right. So now that I'm living on my own, it's afforded me the opportunity to better myself. Now, unfortunately, I have a thick filter now. Now I don't want anybody coming through there to take that away from me. Just fuck that. Who's gonna let somebody fucking come home straight from work without showering and plop their ass in front of the TV with a microwave fucking dinner and play fucking Xbox and talk shit to people over the fucking internet?
Right.
And then in between rounds read some comic books and not go, how was your day, baby?
Right.
You know what? Fuck that. I'm talking shit to fucking Dallas Jackoff 209. You won't believe what that fucker just said to me. I'm tired of him killing me, man. I'm working on my next prestige. That's important to me. But to break it down real though, and it's really cool that I'm able to.
Hey, you fuckers were warned, right?
To do this podcast, and I'm really fortunate that I'm at a place in my life where I can go, you know what? I feel like sitting down and expressing myself and finding out, you know, who I am and building on that with this show that I'm trying to put together.
And I think it's good for the audience too to know who they're dealing with. You know what I mean? To get to know who we are and what we're about.
And what is okay and what is not okay.
Right.
I'm still working that out. You know? I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack if this gets around to my brother and his relationship.
Right.
But this is what the show is about. This is real life.
That's what the fuck we're about. We're the real fucking deal. You know what I mean? So that's what we do. You know what I mean? This show isn't for everybody. We're not. You know, we're not out to save the fucking world. You know what I mean?
And that's why it's okay, I think, if it's not funny all the time.
Right.
Because it's real.
This is a real.
And like I said on the first podcast, I want to make that connection. I want people to think, fuck, I dealt with that. I know what that feeling is like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And not everybody can experience being 35, living on their own, and looking inward.
Right.
Trying to define who you are at this late stages in life. A lot of people get fucking involved in high school, land a marriage, and never get to experience who they are as an individual.
I knew this chick. Her name was Melissa, and she was in high school. Exactly what you just said. And Jana, I know you're out there. If you're listening, I know you know who I'm talking about. Her, but her name was Melissa, and she met She met a guy in school, right? And I can't remember the guy's name, but like halfway through the year, they fucking ran out to Vegas or some shit, came back, and they're fucking married. They're not even out of fucking high school, you know? And then like that summer, they got a divorce. They were like, you know, I mean, come on, man. It's you know, it's insane, dude. It's insane, you know? And when you're young like that, you know, to try and be told what to do and to try and have someone conform you.
Absolutely.
You know?
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah. But like my fucking whole logic, or not my logic, my words to live by back then was like, fuck the system, you know what I mean? Fuck society, fuck everything about it. I don't want to fucking deal with society. I'm not anti-society. Society is anti-me, you know? And I had all this fucking, you know? And by 23, I had fucking 3 kids. You know? I had 3 kids. I had the mother who I was with. I was 23. She was only 18. You know, 19. She was 19. 19 with 3 kids. You know? And again, she was consumed by what I was doing. And so she needed to step outside of that. And she seen, fuck, I'm only fucking 19. I've got more to live. You know what I mean? And she went out and she went out and did her own thing. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say I was a victim in that, because I at the time was a fucking raging fucking alcoholic. I was doing lots of fucking coke, you know? And rather than being home with my family mentally and physically, I was taking care of them financially. And, but I wasn't there present, you know what I mean? But here's the money, pay the rent, take care of the girls, buy them whatever they need, and blah, blah, blah. And she was consumed by everything that I was doing, you know? And then when she went off, I don't want to say she had an affair. It wasn't an affair. She went off. I don't want to downplay what happened. I'm not going to get into the whole logistics of it, because it's not fair to her and she's not here to defend herself. So I'm not going to do it. But I will say this. She went off and she did her own thing. And at the time, I hated her for it. Here I am 20 years later, and I understand why she did what she did. I get it. I understand it, you know? And I don't hate her, you know? And for a lot of years, I couldn't fucking stand her. I couldn't stand her. And now, I just look at it as, you know what? It's just one of those fucking things that fucking happens. And the guy she's with now, the guy she was with back then, she's still together with now. They've been together like 18 fucking years. So somewhere in that chaos is love. Or what they perceive to be as love. I don't know what they see in each other, because I'm not there. But they're there. And it's been 18 years.
So it's working.
He was taking care of my kids.
Yeah.
You know, when I was off being fucking stupid and getting fucking loaded and drinking.
Jesus,
and,
sucker.
Right? You know, he stepped up to the plate. And maybe he wasn't the perfect father, but at least he was there for them. You know what I mean? Where I wasn't. You know, it wasn't. I've got 2 daughters now that I still haven't talked to. You know, it wasn't until 3 months, maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, sometime last year, September of last year, I seen my second daughter after 17 years. You know, we found each other on Facebook, or she found me on Facebook. But anyway, you know, it didn't surprise me when she said, well, yeah, she's still with so-and-so. And I was like, wow, really? Okay. You know, and again, she couldn't find what she found with me, so she went off and she found it somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I've learned from that. Again, in my second relationship with my son's mother, she couldn't find what she wanted with me, so she went and she found it somewhere else. Not to say that all women are like that, because they're not. But I've learned from that. So in this relationship, I better fucking step up to the fucking plate, because I know what can happen. I know. I've experienced it. And I don't want to ever feel that way again. You know? And she tolerates a lot of shit from me. She really does. She tolerates a lot of shit from me. But this is that one relationship where I know if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, and not in the sense that she's got me fucking whipped or fucking, you know, under her thumb, but, you know, it's not an easy game, man. Love is not easy. And again, it's taken me fucking nearly 20 years to get that fucking shit right. I'm fucking hard-headed. I come from the school of hard knocks. I'm not the smartest tool in the fucking shed, you know? And so when it comes to games like this, man, you know, I do what I think is best, you know? And sometimes it's not the right thing, you know? And, you know, what else, what else can I say on that subject? You know? It's not easy, man. And again, me and you come from two totally different worlds. And sometimes I envy you. I envy you. When I walk in your room, because, you know, you have these... It reminds me of when I was fucking 17, you know? And before I had all the responsibilities